What do you see? Steve, you ready? You want to go out? T-Rex, jump 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Go! Yeah. And there goes Steve. Very good. 38 degrees. We got a little December thaw underway, and it says there are some raindrops nearby, and I think that's probably accurate. 9 a.m., the barometer still very high, but on the fall, 29.77. A little bit of a clash of the air masses last night with warmer air coming in from the southwest and clashing with the cold air that's been here for a few days now. And it was a dampening wave of low pressure that actually crossed the entire nation from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and it's just a very weak wave south of Long Island last night. But it was pretty intense when it came in. Perfect timing for accumulating snow at Bill's house in Sherman, Connecticut. Looks like 3 or 4. Good job, Bill. Civilian Kitchen on X. Loves to cook and loves weather. And I never know whether to trust his observations, because sometimes you'll just show something from years ago because he's so into snow. And so here's the snow map from last night. And it was pretty intense there across northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern New York, with widespread 2 to 4 inches of snow. But this is the leading edge of warmer air. Here's the temperature map at about 7:30 this morning. Birds are really singing. Can you hear them with my noise canceling mic on? I mean, they're right around me. How can you not? The song Sparrow sounds like he's in my pocket practically. A temperature map. Yeah, Tim, temperatures. Boston was up to 37. And still in the single numbers in northern Maine. And warming up in New York and Pennsylvania where it did snow. It's melting very quickly now. Trying to get closer to the birds. There they are, right there. Good morning, Song Sparrow. It's not spring, it just feels like it after those cold couple of days. Steve's backyard. We're talking about Steve-centric videos here through Christmas, because I believe Shrewsbury, Massachusetts is representative of New England, usually right on the rain-snow line. So if you can get a white Christmas in Shrewsbury, often that means much of New England gets a white Christmas. So that's where we're focusing, and Steve's backyard has a great webcam, and his pond, I don't know how thick the ice was, but it was all white. It was snowing there at 8:30 this morning with a temperature, what was it, about 30 degrees. So away from the ocean, it's still colder. You see the high pressure goes off to the east. Here's the surface map this morning. The high is weakening, but it's an onshore flow, and the water temperature's in the 40s. So here at the coast, we've warmed up into the upper 30s and headed for the lower 40s. What's the aminals doing over here? Steve, other way. I don't want you getting tangled. Look at that. I walked on top of my leaves. They're frozen on top. I did order a compost thermometer, and I think it came. So tomorrow, might be able to see the temperature in the compost pile. Haven't done the ice bucket check yet this morning. Tim, let's go check the ice bucket. So this is the north side of the house. It'll stay colder. Oh, the ice bucket. Look at, see, it's already starting to melt. It's pretty good. So that's probably going to flop over, but we'll reestablish it. We've got 6 inches of water still in there since Thanksgiving. And the weather is kind of wonky, or the weather forecast is kind of wonky. Let's look at the really big picture this morning of the satellite imagery. Mostly the Pacific Ocean, because this is where most of our weather is coming from. Chaotic, contorted storm systems in the Pacific Ocean. A parade of powerhouse Pacific storms crossing the nation and North America right through the end of the year. And trying to forecast each one of these and how they're going to interact with the cold coming out of Canada is very challenging. These birds are really entertaining us. Huh, Steve? I didn't even put any feed in there yet. Oh yeah, there's the weather stick. Look, the weather stick is neutral. Anybody new here? I have a weather stick. It goes up when it's nice weather and down when it's not so nice weather. And the radar did show a little precipitation, so I might get a little bit of a raindrop or an ice pellet coming through here, but it's really amazing how this system dissipated. So that's called attenuation when these storms come at the East Coast and then they weaken. And then sometimes they resonate and they strengthen. And that's what we were showing over the last 2 days. A tectonic shift in the weather pattern is what I called it, I think, last Thursday's report, because on Wednesday, back when I was at Killington a week ago, here was the guidance for this upcoming Friday. So this is something that was on the weather forecast map in the sort of 10-day, day 10, you know how I go out day 10. And that was for this Friday. And that shows a storm going up through the Great Lakes states with nothing but warm air surging north. And it looked like we would have a warm-up coming at us on the weekend before Christmas. And then the next day I went on and I said, wow, what a tectonic shift. And all of a sudden that storm was supposed to come right over us with rain and snow. Well, it's shifted so much now that the guidance is trying to miss to the south and have us just in frigid air. The truth lies between. It's not going to be a storm that misses. It's not going to be a storm that's a warm storm. So it's almost certain that it's going to be a cold storm, but the guidance has really shifted and taken it out to sea to our south. Let's go right to work here. Now the day is going to feature a warm-up today. Temperature is going to climb into the 40s. And I guess I'll show Steve. I'm showing this 5-day for Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. And rain showers tonight. Temperature gets into the low and mid 50s tomorrow. Fairly windy from the west-southwest with gusts of 25 to 30 first thing in the morning. So ice is melting. That snow that you got last night is melting. And tomorrow gradually turns colder. And then the next system's right on its heels coming in Wednesday night, and that looks just warm enough for a mix of rain and snow, maybe ending as sleet and snow, possible white ground and iciness here on Thursday morning. And then it shows another one on Friday night into Saturday with white ground possible here, Shrewsbury, on Saturday morning. Less so to the south, more so to the north, you would think, but if we go to the guidance, the Euro guidance, let's take it now and watch this low pressure system going north of New England tonight with a next band of rain coming in here, and it may rain hard for an hour or two tonight and end early tomorrow morning and push out, leaving in its wake warmer air mass initially, but there's a colder front. You can kind of make it out with a kink in the isobars and those blue lines heading south into New England tomorrow night and Wednesday. Now we're tapping the Gulf of Mexico. There's new cold surging into the Great Lakes states, and we're going to stop it again Wednesday night at 10 p.m. as we have so many times. This has been very consistent with a 1,010 or 11 millibar low somewhere near Long Island, and the purple meaning the wintry mix of rain, sleet, and snow right over central Massachusetts, and snow further to the north all the way to the Canadian border. It's a fairly fast-moving, fairly flat wave, but it will have a good amount of cold to work with well to the north, so a few inches of snow for the ski areas. This will be Thursday morning, and move that out, keep this going. And this is where we kind of go off the rails here with the low coming across the Great Lakes states, and look at it just kind of almost falling apart, trying to jump off to the south. That is so different than the last 48 hours of guidance, and I don't really believe it. I think it's going to be further north. We'll stop it now Saturday morning. Who's getting snow on Saturday morning? Boston and Cape Cod and Buzzards Bay. Kate in Dartmouth getting snow, a little private snowstorm on Saturday morning, and it's such cold air coming in here. Now, I don't think this is going to be exactly right. You get a 1040 something high coming across the Great Lakes, and where yesterday there was a 977 low in the Gulf of Maine, now it's more like a 985 low off the map there near Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, moving away, and that's southeastern Mass special if this occurs correctly. And very cold, maybe record cold air. I tried to say that for this past weekend, coming at us for the second weekend in a row. A real hard freeze, coldest air mass since, I don't know, the middle of last winter. And that comes in back in motion on Saturday afternoon, Sunday. Just real cold, real windy around here for the weekend. And then a high pressure system kind of comes over us and starts moving offshore. And then if we stop it now, 240 hours is Christmas Day, Wednesday, December 25th, 7 p.m. It shows a very weak low east of Cape Cod with rain just missing Cape Cod. Now, I don't know if it's cool that that low is there, and I think that it would be cold enough that if it's closer, it would be snow on Christmas Day in parts of southeastern New England. So a lot of moving parts. I always talk about the waves and how the weather changes in waves, and so do the weather forecasts. And I think it's going to kind of bend more toward snowier output. Here's the coast-to-coast snow. Now this is week 9 in a row of coast-to-coast North America snow. And those storms coming in off the Pacific just burying British Columbia and Washington and Oregon, those mountains that go up over 8,000 feet, are forecast to get 80 to 140 inches of snow in the next 2 weeks. But note that the snow cover comes right across New England, and if we stop it right at the end of Christmas Day, that's 240 hours. And look at New England. I think just about every zip code in New England is forecast to get at least a little snow, with the heaviest snow now over Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. So Steve may end up with the whitest Christmas. So I think I'm going to have to up the odds a little bit, continuing the odds that 72, let's see, I started this game 48 hours ago, right? And I said, 55% probability of a white Christmas in Shrewsbury. And then yesterday, I upped it to 60% of probability of a white Christmas. And now I think we can take it up another 5% to 70% probability of a white Christmas in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, now in the 10-day forecast. So that certainly has changed, hasn't it, of what we were thinking last week with all those warm storms in the forecast, and it'll probably spring back in our favor. All right, that's the end of the weather forecast part. And Kate says I should get a plaid outfit for Rex. Well, he does have a plaid outfit, but how's that for a little Christmas bow tie on T-Rex? And Steve will get you a Christmas one also. And the Inmore yesterday, I got a phone call from a friend saying, did you see all the drones outside? And I went outside and I said, I see about 11 planes. And so it's kind of reeling me in. No, I did not see any drones, but I did go out there, and those are all planes coming and going from Logan Airport last night. And meantime, I'm trying to make this soup. Well, I'm not trying. I did make a soup yesterday with vegetables from the summer garden. Earlier in the day, I had a salad with some tomatoes and peppers that I harvested. You saw it here in early November, still getting some tomatoes. And that was for brunch. And then later in the day, I love making a soup on a Sunday. And Angela, those are our Bert's, Tim's, Angela's summer squash, still harvest, butternut, not summer. You're not going to have summer squash. Butternut squash. And I put in some bok choy and chicken and made it into a roux with some creamy sauce, and it came out really good. And that's a fun way to end a Sunday when you're not in a hurry Sunday. But I did go around and check some of the ice around here, around the corner over there at Bert's Boatyard. Some saltwater ice, and then I took it to Whitman's Pond and a duck pond at Legion Field. So I'll leave you with the Enmore yesterday, checking the ice, and none of it was safe. Every time it seems like we're about to have safe ice, there's a warm-up. So we'll try that safe ice again next weekend when that harsh chill. And Sparrow just landed right in front of Steve. All right, talk to you again in 24 hours. Here's the Enmore from Sunday, December 15th, that moon. Oh yeah, and I want to say thank you, Eric, for those lengthy notes and your story about National Wildlife Federation and Fowler Toad and meeting Buzz Aldrin and your experience with the rockets. And I too keep a diary every single day. All right. Is that enough, Tim? I really appreciate all your commentary. All right. Here's the Inmore from yesterday. Take 4. Tough bag. It's a tough bag, isn't it? Still on Sunday, 10:30 in the morning. Look at the water. Interesting currents there. And the air has gone calm under this really strong high. And I'm making some observations. I'll pan back that way in a second, but look at the eider. Ducks. Chilling. Literally chilling. You can see the path of one of them right there. Neat, huh? So then if I pan past the flag where it's hardly any wind over towards Howe's Neck and Quincy, and for the first time this winter season, we have a little skim of ice that has formed. So every time we get a skim of ice, it seems like we're going to warm up, and we are going to warm up, but maybe this winter we'll have the ice back. It's been close to a decade since we've had thick ice on the Fore River. Approaching midday. Breeze is picking up now a little from the west-southwest. Warm air advection has commenced. And we have little tiny slush puppy bergs going by. I don't think this came from across the way. I think this more came from up around the Fore River Bridge area. So that little bit of slush is about to hit that duck. What's that duck gonna do? Go underwater. Let's wait and see where it comes up. Did I ever mention it's not in a hurry Sunday? That duck's now been holding its breath for 15 seconds. No idea where it's... There it is. Just came up. What'd you catch? There goes Tom and his puppy. I can't remember the name. And T-Rex being good, not barking. And Steve is just chilling in the sun under the tree. Do we have a halo out there, T-Rex? Let's go search. There's the Great Hill White Christmas potential. Right, frost hanging on. And we do have the right clouds. I don't see any optical phenomena yet. You know what we should do, T-Rex? We should go over to the park where that duck pond is. What's the name of the park? I forgot. See how thick the ice is in the duck pond. All right, I'm on a mission. I wasn't gonna be searching for a sundog or a halo, but I found one anyway. Actually, I kind of am, but more on an ice check now and a time lapse. I left T-Rex at home because this is a bit of a dangerous mission. A couple nights in the 20s, one night in the teens, so there is some ice. I think this is drainage. Although, I was going to say from the rain, but it looks kind of salty, doesn't it? And it's kind of a dangerous job checking ice. So that's why we left T-Rex at home. Very low tide. We addressed that with the high pressure system and the moon and the sun alignment. Can I walk on this without hurting myself? No, not really. About that crevasse right there. Get a grip in there. Okay. Yeah. So, first ice of the season. We're just to the south of the Fore River Bridge. I'm not sure the name of this body of water, but it's more ice than water right now on the surface. Let's keep moving. A couple of other places to go. Next stop, the biggest lake in Weymouth. Go south by Town Hall. Slow down for Rudolph, Frosty, and all the others there in Weymouth. Wow, I didn't know that was there. Keep going. Brought a tool. Dave Sheridan gave me this. So this is Whitman's Pond, where the herring come in the springtime. Let's check it out. Who's gonna put their hand in there, pull it out? I guess that would be me. Bending way over. got to kneel down. Not easy, might get wet. Getting wet. We got the ice. Looks like about an inch and a quarter. If we could just get 2 more nights like this. Oh well. Let's try a duck pond. Town of Weymouth, Legion Field. It's our last stop. More than tennis here. Soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball on the other side. There's the town hall. And there is the setting sun here at 3:15. And I brought my tripod so I could set it down and make a little time lapse maybe of the sky and what I'm about to do here. Can I do both? That pole is right in the way. Darn. Okay. Setting the tripod down. Trying not to drop the camera. There we go. Put it up a little bit so maybe I can get a time lapse of the sky. I'll tell you what I'm up to here. I was kind of hoping for a halo or a sundog, but we did see a brief sundog there. A little higher. It's warm air advection, warmer air up in the sky riding over the top of the very cold, heavy, high pressure system. And haven't I mentioned a bunch of times that you gotta expect surprises with warm fronts? Did we have any surprises this morning? Like, was it snowing on me and T-Rex? All right. So I got the tool, got the hat, got the gloves, got the boots that I can get wet. Should brought a machete too, huh? Going in. A thinner body of water would have thicker ice if not for all the vegetation and mud and things, stuff that absorbs the heat from the sun. So this ice actually is no thicker than up the road at the deeper pond because of the stuff. If I could have got out into the middle, that would have been a different story. But I did retrieve a toy for T-Rex and some seeds and stuff. Lots of growth. What kind of seeds are those? Maybe those are pebbles and seeds. And also these cattails, which I'm not sure. Are these invasive? Kind of fun to play with, but it indicates that there's fresh water around. Just talking to the camera, playing with the cattails. People walking by looking at me. Why not? I'm a spectacle. You can see which way the wind's blowing. It's the sun setting in the southwest. And so these seeds blowing towards the northeast as the high pressure system goes offshore. Can you hear me now? No, we had enough. So I wasn't here long enough to make a good time lapse, obviously. How about the odds of a white Christmas? Did they go up today? See, I haven't seen what I've said tomorrow yet, because it's still today. I mean, yesterday. What is time anyway? Time? T-I-M. Tim with an E. Actually, time is change. And that's the one thing that's constant. Changes are not permanent, but change is. And you can't be in a rush watching the TK videos. I think the Patriots game is on. We'll go make 1 or 2 more observations out in the backyard with whatever cats and dog we can find. Yeah, I'm like a little kid. I am enjoying this. And I'll bring T-Rex's new ball. See? Score. Thinking about it, must have been a really wild shot for someone to clear that fence and put this ball in the water, unless it was a dog toy. Want to go see the water? We've got nothing but time here. And I have skated here before, and I have seen families playing hockey. But it's harder to thicken up the edges because of all that stuff. Tool. S-swing. sure you have an S-wing with you. No, swing with this swing. Oh, for 2 more days of this cold. Huh. Yeah. That's the ball. I just got out of the ice. There's another ball there you got. There's so many tennis balls. It's so confusing. Hi. 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 What's going on? I know. Fun. Met a new dog. The sign says, dogs must be on a leash no longer than 6 feet. I'm not telling. I'm not telling. Yeah.